and thanks for this opportunity to talk today. So just sort of a brief introduction about who we are. I'm the head of digital and AI for the Life Sciences Hub. We're a Welsh government funded organisation which accelerates innovation in life sciences in Wales. And in particular, I focus on how do we make it easier and faster to adopt digital healthcare technology in Wales. And our programme is delivered in partnership with Digital Health and Care Wales. Pete talked earlier this morning about NWIS. It's the new name for NWIS, which is the provider of the national digital architecture for the NHS in Wales. And so we work together on a programme called the Digital Health Ecosystem, where we're trying to securely open up NHS Wales systems and data to developers to help develop new products and services. So we're going to talk a little bit today about AI. I don't need to talk about the landscape in detail. I thought Pete's presentation earlier this morning really covered the wide landscape, but focusing very much on health. There's a lot, I've said it's exciting because there is a lot of early stage projects coming out of the NHS in Wales, really coming from clinicians. There's a real sort of community building of clinicians, academics, informaticians and data scientists who want to really exploit all the different types of artificial intelligence technologies to see how it can make a difference to healthcare delivery in Wales. In addition, there's a new digital health strategy being developed by the Welsh Government this year. So that's a really good opportunity to sort of for this community to come together and talk about what is needed and what can be done. And, you know, some of the organisations that we've talked about already, so the Data Nation Accelerator we've talked about, there's a lot of work coming out of the National Data Resource, which is a big data project being run by Digital Health and Care Wales, but also involving every health board. How do we bring together that big data that we're going to need to look at some of these products? And there's a programme called Technology Enabled Care, which is looking at how do these technologies work in the front line. And we also do a lot of work with an organisation called Health Technology Wales, who evaluate digital and AI technologies. And are just moving into the area of AI. They're much more experienced in assessing digital technologies, but also understand and work very closely with NHSX on things like the Code of Conduct for digital and data-driven technologies. But all of these organisations can provide advice and support, but it is always about the money. And so that's really what I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about. And I apologise for the state of my slides. The font seems to have not come through very well. So I'm just, yes, so I'm going to talk about the AI in Health and Care Award competition. So this is a ongoing competition that is being run by NHSX, which is an English health organisation, but this is a UK-wide competition, just to be confusing, the National Institute for Health Research and the Advanced Access Collaborative. So these organisations have come together to distribute £140 million of funding over 3 rounds. And it's designed to accelerate the development of new AI technologies. So it's not intended to take ideas and take them through into development. It's looking for those that have already sort of gone through proof of concept, that are looking for feasibility and evaluation. How can we accelerate that evaluation in clinical pathways to the point where they can be nationally and UK commissioned? Round 1 and round 2 have closed, and the round 2 winners are being announced hopefully this week. You know, obviously it depends on the UK government, but it's been, and you know, they've funded 42 projects in the first round. I'm not quite sure how many in round 2, but it should be a similar number. But this means that round 3 is still open. It opens June the 28th and it closes on September the 7th. It's the last round of funding. So this is our last opportunity to access this very big fund. And it's not just even about the money. There's also that peer network that you have and the support that you get from those organisations in developing and delivering those development projects that you're submitting. And so we said Say Hello to Mia by Kieran Medical. They were a winner in round 1, and this is testing they have a mammography screening product, and they're actually working with Breast Test Wales as one of their 5 pilot sites for and they're at the last stage of the competition. So they're looking at large scale sort of real world evaluation ready for a national commission at the end of their project. So there have been successes out of this that we're involved in, and it's very exciting. So yes, so we've talked about the competition. So there were 4 phases initially, but they're now only going to be funding 3 phases of this competition. And it's really important to understand where your project and idea will fit into this process. So phase 2 applications, they're looking for evaluating prototypes and generating early clinical safety and efficacy data. So it's looking at your preparations to take your product through to CE marking application. Phase 3 is that real world testing. So it's how can you actually make sure that you've got that evidence and proof of effectiveness that you achieve CE marking. And phase 4, which is where Mia and Chiron Medical are, is looking at initial health system adoption. So it's evaluating the technology within the clinical pathways, in real world usage, and being able to demonstrate that clinical and economic impact, which is going to give you the evidence on why this should be commissioned on a much wider basis. The good news is that awards are uncapped, so there isn't a limit. However, it has to be absolutely based on what the project needs to progress in that phase. And the funding is available for projects that will last 12 to 36 months. So it's a great opportunity, and now is the time. This is a great opportunity to talk about it. If you have something that you think is going to be suitable for this competition, now is the time to be preparing a bid for round 3. So in terms of eligibility, the lead organisation has to be UK based, or at least have a UK health and social care organisation as co-lead. Partners can be outside of the UK, provided that there is a reasonable justification and that there's going to be a benefit to the NHS in the UK. And we are seeing that it's not entirely UK companies that are able to access this, but it's important to have that health sector partner, an NHS partner or a social care partner who is based in the area that you want to work. And it's open to, essentially higher educational organisations, businesses, NHS and social care organisations. There's a wide range of eligible organisations, and they are looking for collaborations between at least 2 and for phase 4, 3 to 5 as a minimum number of partners or sites that you're working with to show that there's a real appetite to work on your project. Yes, so that's a very brief run through what is actually quite a detailed competition, but it is that sort of I've worked in trying to secure funding for a number of years. It is rare to have such a big competition that is really as flexible as they are, that is really looking for that sort of product development piece that's going to be available. So if you are interested in applying for the competitions, we said it opens on the 28th of June. How can we help and how I can help? Well, we want to see more bids from Wales, and bids that involve Wales, so they don't have to be from a Welsh origin, a Welsh-based business. But we could also, Chiron Medical are not based in Wales, but they came to us and said we really want to work with an NHS organisation in Wales, so we were able to sort of make that relationship for them. So obviously, so the things that we can do in the Life Sciences Hub is that we can support you with finding those partnerships, making those connections. If you are looking for an NHS partner, we can also, we also have been supporting organisations through round 1 and round 2 of this competition. So understand the criteria, the application form, the process, and have provided support for companies that are going through that, including mock interviews. And so we have a lot of detailed knowledge about the competition that we can share. And that we're really keen to make sure that Wales, and the people of Wales and the NHS in Wales gets the biggest benefit out of this competition. So if you are interested, those are my contact details. It's helen.northmore@lshub.wales, lshubwales.com, or please contact the organisers. Please do feel free to get in touch.